Covert sociopaths do not overpower your logic. They bypass it completely using the darkest trick in human behavior, the illusion of suffering. When they realize they are losing control over you, they deploy a fake apology perfectly calibrated to disarm your cold rationality and drag you back into their cage. Listen to me very carefully, because the social landscape is shifting rapidly. The unspoken rules of power are changing, and the window of opportunity to build an impenetrable psychological armor against fake empathy is closing faster than you think. What I am about to reveal in this video is not public knowledge. It is a highly guarded, exclusive breakdown of how elite social predators manufacture fake tears to map out your insecurities, escape accountability, and keep you trapped at the bottom of the hierarchy. If you choose to click away right now, you are making a fatal choice. You are guaranteeing that your internal power, your time, and your status will remain permanently drained by toxic people who view your forgiveness purely as an exploitable weakness. Every single day you operate with this dangerous blind spot, you are bleeding leverage. But if you stay until the very end of this video, I will hand you the exact psychological blueprint to spot a fake apology in under 5 seconds, shatter their manipulation tactics, and command instant respect without saying a single word. Let's get one thing straight from the start. Not all tears are created equal. You grew up being programmed to believe that crying is a universal sign of genuine pain and deep remorse. That is a dangerous, destructive lie. The brutal reality of social hierarchies is that predators use the symbols of vulnerability as camouflage. When someone betrays you, disrespects your boundaries, or manipulates your trust, and then suddenly collapses into a puddle of tears the exact moment you confront them, you are not witnessing remorse. You are witnessing a highly calculated survival mechanism. They are putting on a theatrical performance designed specifically to hijack your empathy and shut down your critical thinking. Think about the people in your life who constantly mess up and always manage to cry their way out of the consequences. They do not do it because they are hopelessly fragile. They do it because they have tested your perimeter, and they know that your guilt is easier to manipulate than your anger. Ignorance of this Machiavellian tactic mathematically ensures your permanent status as an obedient pawn in their game. The 5-second radar. Let's look at how you can instantly decode this behavior. To the untrained eye, a fake apology looks exactly like a real one. But elite operators know that the truth is always hidden in the first 5 seconds of the confrontation. When you present a toxic person with undeniable proof of their betrayal, watch their immediate reaction. A person who feels genuine remorse will absorb the weight of what they have done. Their first instinct will be to acknowledge your pain. They will be quiet. They will focus entirely on how their actions destroyed your trust, and they will accept your anger as a completely valid response. Their apology will be centered on you. Covert manipulator operates entirely differently. In the first 5 seconds of being caught, they will not focus on your pain. They will instantly pivot to their own. This is the ultimate red flag. Before they even say the words, "I am sorry," they will launch into a frantic, chaotic explanation of how stressed they are, how overwhelmed they have been, or how their traumatic past made them do it. The tears will appear incredibly fast, almost as if on cue. Why? Because the tears are a smoke screen. They need to flood the room with heavy, distracting emotion to prevent you from looking clearly at the cold, hard facts of their betrayal. If within 5 seconds of confronting them you find yourself listening to a long, tragic story about their difficult week, instead of hearing taking accountability for the knife in your back, you are being played. You must understand the dark radar of the predator. They are not trying to repair the relationship. They are trying to regain control of the narrative. By bursting into tears, they force you into the role of the caregiver. Your ego is naturally wired to feel valuable when you are comforting someone in distress. They know this. They exploit this. They turn themselves into the victim so rapidly that your brain does not have time to process the deception. Suddenly, you are no longer the person demanding respect and accountability. You are handing them a tissue, softening your tone, and telling them that things will be okay. The moment you start comforting the exact person who just betrayed you, their fake apology has successfully completed its mission. You have been neutralized. The contrast of weaponized guilt. One of the most ruthless strategies these operators use against agreeable people is the contrast principle of weaponized guilt. We know from the psychology of persuasion that human beings judge the severity of an event based on what is presented immediately next to it. Manipulators understand this flawlessly. They will make a massive, toxic mistake. They will lie to you, betray your trust, or sabotage your reputation. But the absolute second you confront them, they escalate the situation into a catastrophic emotional breakdown. The contrast is violently jarring. You walked into the room ready to demand respect and enforce a strict boundary, but you are suddenly faced with a sobbing, shaking, collapsing mess. Contrast principle flips the reality of the entire interaction. In a matter of seconds, you go from being the righteous victim of their betrayal to feeling like a cruel, heartless abuser who is attacking a fragile human being. This is the dark architecture of guilt. It is designed specifically to make you feel terrible for holding them to a basic standard of decency. You start softening your tone because you do not want to be seen as the villain in their movie. You tell them it isn't that big of a deal. You end up doing something you never wanted to do. You forgive them without them ever taking real accountability, simply because the sight of their tears looked so overwhelmingly pathetic in comparison to your initial anger. You need to see this tactic for exactly what it is: pure, calculated exploitation. When you recognize that their sudden emotional collapse was a setup designed to manipulate your sense of fairness, you owe them absolutely nothing. A trick does not deserve your compassion. Furthermore, they use these fake tears to establish an illusion of uninvited debts. It is a primitive rule of human interaction. If someone gives you a piece of their vulnerability, you must give them your patience in return. By showing you their pain, they are creating a fake debt of intimacy. Suddenly, you feel a deep, heavy obligation to repay them with endless second chances. When they treat you like garbage weeks later, you excuse it. You are paying back a debt that was completely fabricated to keep you compliant. The scarcity of true remorse. So, how do the top 1% of operators completely detach from this trap? How do they spot fake tears, stay cold, and command absolute respect without seeking a single drop of validation? They understand the absolute scarcity of true remorse. In the marketplace of human interaction, genuine accountability is incredibly rare. If a person is always available to cry, always ready to deliver a dramatic apology, and always quick to beg for a fresh start, the value of their words plummets to the bottom of the barrel. People only respect what is difficult to obtain. Real change requires time, silence, and heavy effort. Fake apologies are cheap, loud, and immediate. If you want people to value you, you must become intimately comfortable with the art of strategic withdrawal. This is not about hiding in your room, throwing a tantrum, or becoming a heartless monster. It is about removing your emotional availability from anyone who uses tears as a currency. Right now, your empathy is dangerously cheap. You give it to anyone who cries, anyone who claims they are a victim, anyone who throws a passing glance of sadness your way. To break the curse of people-pleasing, you have to treat your forgiveness like high-grade gold. When a toxic friend tries to rope you into their endless, cyclical drama by turning on the waterworks, you withdraw. You don't argue, you don't debate, you don't write a long paragraph explaining why their apology is not enough. You simply become unavailable. Weak people are utterly terrified of social friction. They will do anything, tolerate any disrespect, and swallow any insult to avoid looking at someone crying and doing nothing. Elite operators, on the other hand, embrace friction. They use friction deliberately to test the reality of the emotion. When you stop being the automatic savior and start being real, you will introduce heavy, uncomfortable friction into your relationships. People who were entirely used to using their fake tears to walk all over you will be outraged. They will instantly switch from crying to screaming. They will call you selfish, arrogant, cold, and toxic. Good. That sudden switch from sadness to rage is the ultimate proof that the tears were fake all along. Let the friction burn away every toxic, one-sided connection in your life. The asymmetry of silence. When someone challenges you, betrays you, and then uses a fake apology as a shield, your immediate reflex as an empathetic person is to soften your stance. You rush to fill the silence. You try desperately to make them feel better about the horrible thing they just did to you. You bleed massive amounts of energy trying to manage their emotional state. The truly powerful do the exact opposite. When they are tested with fake vulnerability, they deploy the asymmetry of silence. They speak less than necessary to maintain absolute superiority and an aura of mystery. Silence is the most terrifying weapon in dark psychology because it provides zero information to the enemy. It creates a massive, uncomfortable void, and human beings are psychologically terrified of voids. When you don't react to their tears, you force the manipulator to sit in their own awkward, aggressive performance. You deny them the emotional supply they were hunting for. Think about it. When someone cries to manipulate you and you immediately offer comfort, you have entered their game. You are playing by their rules. You have given them exactly what they wanted, proof that they control your emotions. But when you respond with cold, unbroken eye contact and absolute silence, the game stops. The power shifts entirely to you. They throw a theatrical performance, and you don't even blink. By simply not caring enough to validate their fake sadness, you instantly project the aura of someone who is fundamentally above the manipulation. You communicate, without uttering a single syllable, that their theatrical display is so utterly transparent and insignificant that it does not even warrant the energy of your vocal cords. This destroys a covert manipulator more than any clever comeback ever could. They expect you to fight. They expect you to cave. They never expect you to just stand there, completely unbothered, watching them act. It strips them of all their power, proclaiming elite dominance. This is the ultimate psychological transformation. You must stop seeing yourself as the designated healer in everyone else's movie and start realizing that you are the ruthless director of your own reality. If someone creates a mess and then cries about the consequences, that is their heavy psychological burden to carry, not yours. You must build an impenetrable armor of self-reliance. You respect your own boundaries before you respect their fake tears. The greatest operators in the world do not waste a single heartbeat trying to comfort a manipulator. They understand that being called cold by a parasite is actually a massive badge of honor. It proves that your armor is working. Many of you watching this are trapped in relationships or jobs where you were promised respect and loyalty, only to have it stripped away the moment you fully committed. They gave you a false sense of importance, and now you are staying because your mind has built a fake support system of excuses. You tell yourself they're just having a hard time right now, or if I'm just a little more patient, they will finally stop hurting me. You are lying to yourself. The moment you realize your desire to be the savior is forcing you to stay in an exploitative, dead-end environment, you must cut the cord. No dramatic exits, no long emotional speeches seeking closure. Just a quiet, permanent withdrawal of your presence. You have a critical choice to make right now. You can close this video, go back to your normal life, and continue to be the smiling, accommodating, exhausted target that everyone uses as an emotional dumping ground and absolutely nobody respects. You can continue to let the deep-seated fear of looking like a bad person dictate your every single move, keeping you trapped at the bottom of the dominance hierarchy forever. But know this, every day you operate with this weakness, you are bleeding status, and predators are mathematically calculating your lack of leverage to exploit you. Or you can make the definitive decision today to kill the savior inside you. If this painful truth hit you exactly where it needed to, drop the words, "Do not blink," in the comments right now. Draw a permanent line in the sand today. Take back the power you have been freely giving away to the unworthy. And if you want to master the exact, step-by-step dark psychology and warfare tactics that the elite use to dominate every social hierarchy, hit the subscribe button. Do it now. The social game is ruthless, and those who fall for fake tears will always be eaten alive. Spot the performance, stay cold, and never apologize for your power.